And welcome back to Daily Justice. I'm your host, Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. My guest today is Mark Hodgson, a Spokane attorney who's been practicing for more than 10 years, and your main emphasis is family law. So, why family law?
Honestly, I think I did everything to not practice family law when I was in law school. But I think my history and everything else with just what I did prior to becoming an attorney, prior to law school, really just made family law a good fit. And so once I got there, I think my interest is in being a lawyer because one of the aspects of family law is court. You're in court almost every day if you're a family law attorney. That interested me very much, and also the problems that it presented it. Because prior to this, I was actually a youth counselor.
So family law was not the initial road you went on?
No, it's kind of funny. I was a youth counselor for years and years and years, and I worked at a place here in town, Excelsior Youth Center. I also worked at YMCA Camp Reed. I eventually drifted into what I would consider the toughest kids you can work with outside of prison. And so I started working with those populations, whether it was drug-addicted kids. I worked in those units. I worked with psychiatry kids, kids with like early stage schizophrenia. I worked with behavioral kids. I worked with all the family dynamics. I worked with families. And when I got out, I was like, well, I don't want to do family law. I want to do, I want to do something else. And fortunately for me, my interests remained the same when I started practicing law. Those issues remained interesting to me, and especially from a law perspective, it was really a great fit. It was really fun, and also the speed of family law, the way everything changes so fast, it worked with my personality. It worked with my skill set of being able to be versatile and also able to settle or even argue a case both at the same time. Much different from like civil litigation where you go to court once a year or something like that. This is something where you deal with real people, real issues on an everyday basis, and it was great.
So prior to family law, you were almost priming yourself to be in this field to begin with.
I was, absent-mindedly, yeah. Without even knowing it, absolutely. At one point I thought I might be a teacher or something like that, and that just didn't really interest me as much as being an advocate for someone, and that was something that really caught my interest, and there's nothing better than being an advocate for someone in the family law arena. I mean, there is nothing better than that, of seeing someone, for instance, like in a domestic violence case where you're representing the victim of a horrible case and you can actually make their life better instantly. I've had several cases where you've just been able to take a very difficult situation and make it better instantly just by knowing what to do and when to do it and doing it right. And that is very satisfying.
So much fulfillment, and I wouldn't think that initially as an attorney.
You wouldn't, and there are bad days too. I mean, it's not the perfect job, but yeah, there's a lot of instant gratification in this particular field when you can take somebody. When people come to us, they're literally just, that's all they can think about is the end of their marriage, the end of their world, the end of their family. And it turns out it's not the end of their family, it's a different chapter in their family. And oftentimes you take people who are in normal situations of the common divorce, if you will, no divorce is common, and you take their situation and you make everything better, and you say, well, this is what you can expect, this is where you're at, and then if you get a reasonable attorney on the other side, it just comes out great, and they just go on down the road, and they're able to begin the healing process. And I think that's the piece that's great, is when you can kind of stop the bleeding of the dying family, if you will, and turn it into something positive, and people going on down the road. It's great.
This is going to sound self-serving, but with so many lawyers and attorneys in Washington State, why choose Mark Hodgson?
We're the best. No, I think that's one of the things that's funny about being an attorney is you kind of have to have that attitude of we're the best. And what we're the best at is really looking at each case on an individual basis. I think I would ask people, when they look at stuff, they go, well, this is similar, that's similar. Every family, if you can find identical families, I would challenge you to do that. And every case is different. So you have to have someone with the experience to look at the case on a new level, and then also take even a unique approach to solve an old problem. And every case is different, and we're very good at that. It's also nice to know, somebody referred a case to us the other day, and I believe they said, well, if it goes nuclear, this is the guy you want. And that's true. That's absolutely true. We're great in a crisis. We're great when things are horrible. But that isn't the only place we're great at. We're great at settling cases. We get along with other people. We treat people with respect and dignity at every point in the process. And I think being able to, have a good conflict attorney or a good courtroom attorney is great, but it has to be balanced by something else. And we're good at both. So we can settle your case, and if it has to be, fought in the courtroom, we're excellent at that also.
This is just skimming the surface. How can people learn more about your services?
Well, they can give our office a call. We do free consultations. We're at 509-327-1415. You can also check out our website. Our website's really neat. It's got about 15 pages of information. We have a blog available, several informational videos. They're just, I believe this show is even linked to our blog, and it's just fabulous. So, our blog is great, our website is great, and of course, call us. We'll talk to you.
Mark Hodgson, thanks very much for joining us here on Daily Justice.
Thanks, Dave.